Okay, so you can see my Power BI screen. Now what I have to do, there is a data set that I have to import. So today I will show you the data shaping operations like data splitting, column splitting, merging, then pivoting, unpivoting, normalizing, etc. Okay. So here, let me first import data from Excel. So that is my CSV file. So let me make it all files. Okay. So I am importing this retail sales raw data 1. Just this data is being loaded. Okay. Now this data is showing here retail sales raw data underscore 1 dot CSV. So I load the data. Now this data is getting loaded. It takes some time to load. Okay. Now what I have to do, I have to go to the transform tab, transform data tab. Okay. So transform data tab, as we can see in the ribbon in the home tab, that is in the ribbon transform data is there. So we click on the transform data. So the Power Query editor will open. So this is the Power Query editor, and you can see that the whole data set has been loaded. Okay. So what is there? Order ID, full name, email ID, product ID, product name, then product category, city, state, then January sales data, February sales data, then March sales data, April sales data, May sales data, June sales data. So the data set is all about the retail sales. So as you already know, but as the assignment here today is to show how to split columns and how to merge columns, I will show you how to split columns also. So here, suppose there is full name. Here the full name column is there. So in this case, Rahul Singh, first name is Rahul Singh, next name is Pooja Reddy. So if I split this column, how should I split? I should go to split column. So in the Power Query editor, in the home tab, there is a split column button. Okay. So I click on the split column, and that should be splitted by delimiter. Delimiter means there should be comma, there can be comma, there can be space like that. Okay. So space is there between the first name and the last name, and it is the leftmost delimiter. So by the leftmost delimiter, we have to split the data. Okay. So then we click on OK. And you see this full name dot 1, that is the one column, and full name dot 2, that is the second column here. So first column has been splitted into one column, and second column you see the last name. Okay. Now if I want to merge this, if we again want back these two columns to be merged into one column, so I should select both the columns. How I should select? That full name dot 2, that column is selected. Now I press Ctrl and click this column full name dot 1. Okay. Then where should I go? I go to transform, and in the transform tab, there is merge columns option. Okay. So I go to merge columns. So separator should be there. Separator means that you are separated by delimiter, and here it should be separated by space. Okay. So I separate by space, and this column name may I get this column name as suppose full name. Okay. So full name, I am writing here full name and I am clicking OK. So you see, again the full name is back. But this is not the same thing. As you can see, first I selected the full name dot two. That's why the second column has come in the, that's why the last name has come in the first automatically. Okay. Okay, let it be, but you have understood that if I select the first column, then the second column, that order is mattering, right? So the order matters. That's why here the change has happened. Okay, so no issues. We can again split and again change the names. Okay. Or what you can do, just undo this last option. This as you can see, applied steps on the right hand side, applied steps, just you click on this cross over the merge columns. I click the cross and then full name 1, full name 2. See, the previous one has been opened now. So I select first the full name, then the second column, that is full name dot two. Now I go to merge columns and I select the separator as space and I give the column name as, new column name as full name. Okay, then click OK. Now you see Rahul Singh, Pooja Reddy, Sneha Patel, all these things have come. Okay, so that you have understood how to split a column and how to merge two columns, at least two columns, how to merge. Okay, now pivoting and unpivoting. Okay, what is pivoting and what is unpivoting? Here you see that, just you see there are several data sets like January sales, February sales, March sales, April sales, May sales, June sales. Okay, so these are the data sets from, these are the sales data from January to June. Okay, now if we want to unpivot means columns to rows. That is January sales, February sales, March sales, April sales, May sales, June sales, all the data will be in the rows. Will be in the rows. Here all these data, yes. We are actually transposing the full, this January, February, March, April, May, June. These will be in the rows and all the data sets that will be in the columns. Okay. So here we have selected columns. So we have to see their pivot column, that is disabled because we have selected the columns, all the columns. Okay, we have selected all the columns. These unpivot columns, this has been enabled. So what should I do? We just unpivot the columns. Then you see the attribute values. The two name has been there. One column has been created as attribute. One column has been created as value. So what is that? January sales, February sales. So just see that January sales value 549, February sales 1921, March sales 1139, April sales 1911, May sales 1997, June sales 1748. Again it has repeated. Again January sales, February sales, March sales, April sales, May sales, June sales. Again it has been repeated. This is called the unpivoting. That is, we are transforming columns to rows. Okay, we are transforming columns to rows. Now, what you can do, I will show you pivoting also. So, let us first do it. Let us rename this attribute as suppose months and Let us rename this value as suppose sales. Okay. So now two attributes to the data set has been changed now with two different columns. One is months, one is sales. Now, suppose we want to see what are the different product categories and how much sales were there. So in that case, you see in the product category column, there are accessories. There are, and if we go down, if we scroll down, stationery, electronics, then accessories. So if we want to group, that is how many stationery items, how many sales were there for stationery items, how many sales were there for electronics, how many sales were there for accessories, etc. Then we have to, suppose we want to do this, so we have selected this product category. Okay. Then you see on the right hand side in the transform tab on the left hand side there is a tab called group by. If we just selecting the column product category, if we select group by, then you see the specify the column to group by and desired output. What should be our desired output? Basic, there is option, first option basic, advanced option. So let us first learn the basic. The column name is product category. New column name, suppose total sales. Okay. Suppose total sales. We want to see for accessories how many total sales were there. For stationery, how many total sales were there. For electronics, how many total sales were there. Okay. Then count rows, no count rows, we want to take the sum. Okay. Operation sum. As we want to see the total, so operation should be sum. And column should not be order ID. We want to see total sales. Okay. So we have to select the sales column here. All the column names you can see all the column names. Now, which column you want to get as the output, that is sales. Okay. Now if we click on OK, you see what happened. This product category, then accessories, how many total sales were there? 66700. Okay. For stationery, how many total sales were there? 121195. How many for electronics? How many total sales were there? 1111922. For furniture, how many total sales were there? 69524. Now, if I want to just this table, if I want to make this table as a separate entry, as a separate table, what should I do? You see, there is a left pane or left panel where queries, there is a word called queries within bracket 1. So one query is being run and the table name is retail sales raw data 1. Now, what now we have to do? We have to just right click on it and make a reference of this table. Just make a reference of this table and rename this table as suppose product category or category. So now you see these two tables have been created. One is retail sales. In this case, you can, if you just, okay, but these two tables are actually the same because we are referencing one table with other. That is, two same copies have been created. Now, if I go to the raw sales data also, just we remove the grouped rows, then the similar, all the previous data set has been there. We just all the previous data sets have been there. Now, so now there are two tables. Now what you can do, from one table you can select some of the columns which you want to keep. In the next table you can select some of the columns which you don't want to keep, and in this way you can just create two separate tables. Okay, here I am not showing that things, but as you have done the copy of the same table, and then you can remove the columns, and in this way you can create two separate tables, okay, as you wish. Okay, now just I am showing you this unpivoting. Unpivoting, no, not the unpivoting. We have already done the unpivoting. That is, we have transformed columns to rows. Now, if we want to make the rows to columns, if we want to make rows to columns, if we want to convert, then we have to do the pivoting. So, let us select the months. Let us select the months and pivot columns. We select the pivot column and pivot column based on the sales. Okay. Pivot column, values column, sales. Because based on sales, we have to pivot the columns. Click on OK. Now you see again January sales, February sales, March sales, April sales, May sales, June sales. Okay. All that column has come back. So this is called pivoting, unpivoting, group by separating two tables and splitting columns, merging columns. Okay, so these all are the data shaping operations. So today you have learned so many things. These are the data shaping operations. Now I stop here. Hope you have understood. So I am stopping here. Thanks to all of you.